Hi, and thanks for joining us for this free YouTube version of our health and safety training course, which is also available in full with certificates over at safeti.com. Okay, let's waste no more time. We're ready to get started with our health and safety training. Welcome to this fire safety awareness course brought to you courtesy of safeti.com. I'm here to help guide you through this short course, and the main aim is to introduce or refresh you on the concept and importance of fire safety in the workplace. Let's get started. It's useful to know that for a fire to start, three key elements are needed. Firstly, a source of ignition or heat. Secondly, a source of fuel. And thirdly, a supply of oxygen. Once these three elements combine to start a fire, the fire can continue and spread provided it has an adequate supply of fuel and oxygen. And if any one of these is missing, a fire can't start. Taking measures to reduce the chances of the three coming together will therefore reduce the chances of a fire taking place. If there is enough fuel and oxygen available, a fire can keep going and it will spread through a combination of convection, conduction and radiation. One of the most dangerous parts of any fire is the smoke that's generated through the burning of materials. Smoke that's produced from a fire removes the oxygen available from the air and also contains toxic gases which are very harmful to people. And it's for that reason that smoke is the leading cause of fire-related deaths. As we're often surrounded by a good supply of oxygen and materials that could act as a fuel within workplace scenarios, it usually makes most sense when it comes to elimination or control of these elements to look initially towards anything that could act as an ignition or heat source. So let's think for just a moment as to how we might identify these potential ignition sources. You can identify the potential ignition sources in your premises by looking for possible sources of heat which could get hot enough to ignite the materials found in the surrounding areas. These often take the form of naked flames, hot surfaces, or electrically or mechanically generated sparks. As an employer or other person deemed responsible for fire safety, a suitable fire risk assessment will help you ensure that your fire safety procedures, prevention measures and precautions are all in place and working properly, and that includes identifying anything that does need attention. As an employee, you must cooperate to ensure that your workplace is free from fire and its effects. And you mustn't do anything that puts yourself or others at risk from fire. If you do see something that could contribute or cause a fire within the workplace, it's important to report it to the appropriate person and allow your organisation to take steps to reduce that risk. Also, something to remember is to look out for indications of a near miss. Indications of near misses such as scorch marks on furniture or fittings, discoloured or charred electrical plug sockets, or things like cigarette burns, for example, are important indicators of issues that could turn into something more serious, and you should report it. Your organisation should have an emergency plan in place, and this should outline the basic steps for you to take in the event of a fire. Your emergency plan and procedures will range in complexity depending on the type of premises that you're in, and it can be anything from very simple signage on fire action notices, for example, to more complex and detailed plans that requires collaboration between different teams. For those who may require additional assistance in the event of an emergency evacuation, a personal emergency evacuation plan or PEEP should be in place, and this will ensure that they can safely escape or at minimum access a place of relative safety until help arrives. If you think that you may need additional assistance, make sure to inform your line manager to allow those arrangements to be put in place. In most cases, if a fire alarm does go off when you're in work, you'll have to evacuate the building immediately. If you have detected the fire but no alarm has sounded, then you or someone else in the surrounding area may need to raise the alarm by using a break glass. And there may be circumstances where there is no automated system in place, for example on a construction site, and you may need to raise the alarm by other means, for example by sounding a horn or even simply shouting fire repeatedly. As we mentioned earlier, both fire and smoke can spread extremely quickly, so it's very important you take any alarm seriously, don't waste time, and calmly leave the building via your most direct route. And remember, never use a lift in the event of a fire. With that in mind, it's always important to get a good grasp of where your nearest exits are, particularly if you're new to a building or facility. Good lighting should always be available along these escape routes, and it should be easy to follow the green exit signage to a place of safety, which should be an established assembly or muster point. Your site should have an established assembly or muster point to be used in the event of an evacuation where occupants can gather safely and be accounted for by those responsible. On bigger sites there may be multiple assembly points, but these should all be located in a safe area away from significant hazards. Depending on the circumstances, you may need to contact emergency services via your local emergency number such as 999, and it's best to do this from a safe location such as the assembly point once you've raised the alarm. Just remember to speak as slowly and clearly as you can, providing the operator with as much useful site information as possible so that they can send the right equipment and appliances to site. Depending on the outcomes of the fire risk assessment for your particular circumstances, there may be fire wardens or marshals delegated to help and assist in the event of an emergency evacuation. Those that are given this responsibility should receive regular training and information on their responsibilities. And if there are people with that responsibility on your site, this should be communicated to you via things like information boards and site-specific training. Fire safety signage, systems and equipment are all there to help guide you and ensure your safety in the event of a fire. In workplaces and other commercially operated premises, you'll usually see lots of examples of fire signage of different sizes and colour. Some will be highlighting a hazard, others will be letting you know what is not permitted. There will likely be some that will tell you the steps to take in the event of an emergency, and there will hopefully be directional signage to show you the fastest way to get to safety. Okay, now I'm going to give you the opportunity to take part in a little task, and don't worry if it's not suitable for you to take part in this task right at this moment. You can do it after the course or at a time that's suitable. What I want you to do is, after this video finishes, take a few minutes to walk around the premises or area that you're in and take stock of the signs, system and equipment that you can see relating to fire safety and evacuation, thinking back to all of the things we've discussed so far. Keep an eye out for any specific information as to what you should do in the event of a fire, such as fire action notices. Also, see if you can spot any information related to evacuation routes that we mentioned a little earlier. These are typically posted on doors, walls or other infrastructure that's either close or on the main exit routes themselves. Okay, I'll leave you to it and I'll see you again shortly. Not to forget, I will leave links to the full course version with certificates that's available at our website safety.com, so you can use that for yourself, your team or your business, and we'll look forward to hearing your feedback on that. Until next time, take care.